Action and discussion items. 5A, discussion of the budget referendum. You want to kick us off, Ruth?
I guess. So I did hear today that an announcement from the governor is imminent on this regard, but there has been no announcement yet. I sent you all the information I had regarding a possible vote on a secret ballot in town. And I sent you a warrant and a secret ballot for you guys to look at. I sent the final one today. So last night the select board met, not select board, the budget committee met and voted to go with the select board's recommendations on everything. So I stick with the closed ballot structure since there is no other option to even think about. And so each one just says selectmen and budget committee recommend yes. So I think if we don't decide tonight, we probably would need to have another meeting in the next couple of days to decide, because by Friday we need to have the ballot ready and sent to the state for printing and coding with ES&S.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought we weren't coding it.
Well, originally I didn't think we could because I didn't think we would make the deadline, but the deadline is Friday. And so, I mean, I guess we don't have to code it.
Oh, no, fine. I was just surprised. That's all. So you're not, so we're going to count them by machine, not by hand.
Right. That's the plan.
Okay. All right. All right. So if we want to talk about the warrant itself and the wording of some of the questions, we need to do that tonight, right?
Yeah, unless you want to still count it by hand.
I don't know what do members think.
I prefer to have it counted by machine, not hand.
Yeah.
I mean, let's do it.
Okay. Right? I'm not seeing any objection to that.
No.
So did everyone get a chance to read through the warrant? And did anybody have anything they want to discuss in terms of, questions or whatever?
Are we going to go down each one or each article, or were we going to vote on it as a whole? What are you thinking here?
Well, I guess my first question, Ruth, is which one we should be looking at, because there's multiple versions over the last two.
Yeah. I sent one today, and it's called the Warrant 2020 Final Corona.
Final Corona.
That was in the email that came today at 2:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Oops, sorry, I got to move that to my other screen.
There's not a ton that has changed since my previous iterations. It's just that I just aligned the select board and the budget committee recommendations. The biggest question I had, frankly, was article number 13. So I did the big budgets all separately, but then I combined a number of budgets together, and we can split those out if you'd like to. That makes for a pretty big warrant article, but I was trying to cut down on the warrant articles. So if you guys look at that, you can tell me what you think.
What do people think about that?
Did you check your math twice?
I had Pam check my math, and I had Becky check my math, and they said it all came out, but there's always something wrong.
Most of those articles don't usually generate much discussion in town meeting anyway, but maybe the planning board one, I don't know. That's the only one that normally sometimes can, but.
So are there no concerns that, I can be talked out of it, but I am a little concerned that how people might react to putting a bunch of stuff together when we've never done that before.
Oh, we've never done this before.
Yeah, no, true. We've never done any of it like this before. There's, I don't know. If there's one thing in there that somebody doesn't like, then it
Yeah.
affects
It's gonna pull it out for everything.
that question.
I mean, I'm okay with it that way. That is, if you want to break out the two larger ones there, planning and telecommunications, that's fine. But I kind of agree. There usually isn't much discussion around these anyway.
If you guys want to leave it like this, if that's the consensus, I'll go with that.
Let's just
but-
leave it. I say we leave it.
Yeah.
Okay. Ruth, did you have anything else you wanted to call out?
Well, no, that was the most, that was the biggest one. I mean, the rest of them, they all show the funding source. I didn't do the revenue type with the revenue question at the very end. I did it like we had originally done it, except for obviously they're closed instead of open. Oh, and the other thing is we don't need to put an LD1 article on it this year because we're not exceeding the LD1.
Right. Okay. I do have a couple of questions in going through this.
Okay.
I'm wondering, since we have this first article, I guess it's not number one on this one, so my numbers are going to be off. Where we asked, I guess it's Article 3.
Okay.
Since we're doing that, we're asking if something fails. I'm wondering, should we, for the budget articles in here, should we add a note that shows what the last year budget was versus this year's proposed budget and the percent change? Do we feel like that's, or are you relying on the information sheet we're going to talk about later to provide that?
I was trying to keep it fairly simple, so I was relying on the information sheet.
Okay. Do we think, and will we have, they'll be able to, we can have copies of the information sheet and people can, if they're voting from home, they'll have them right in front of them. If we do have a polling place, they can take copies of that into the booth, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. On the, I guess that would be the information thing too. So skip that one. I am a little concerned with the wording of Article 8. And I have two issues with it.
Okay.
So Article 8 is the one about the $77,000 that essentially we overtaxed people because the tax assessment we got from the RSU, there was a mistake in it. But by the time they discovered the mistake, we had already assessed taxes or committed taxes. So I'm a little concerned with the wording that it's just a straight, there's an ask of, do you want to take $77,000 out of undesignated and apply it to the budget? There might be people that are just hesitant about just spending undesignated funds without a little bit more of an explanation. And it says that we're applying it to the municipal operating budget, but shouldn't that say that it's going to be applied towards the RSU 5 tax assessment?
Technically, it's not. I mean, technically, the undesignated funds would be, it's crossing hairs, frankly, but it's going to be listed under the municipal operating budget.
Okay. All right, I can buy that. But then the second sentence there says these funds lapsed into undesignated funds due to an error in the RSU 5 tax assessment. And again, this might be a place where the information sheet will help, but since we're offering an explanation here, I think it needs a little bit simpler language that people will follow, because I was thinking of something like, there was an error in last year's budget tax assessment from RSU 5 that resulted in $77,410 in excess tax revenue being collected. The town held this money in undesignated funds and seeks to apply it to this year's tax assessment. RSU 5. 'Cause, I just worry that it leaves a lot of unanswered questions that might pop up in people's mind, and when that happens, people fill in the blanks in their own, and oftentimes incorrectly. So I don't know. What do others think of that? Is that clear? Not clear? No concern?
Well, originally, that's how we had done it, and I know that it's different, but that's how we had done it in the original warrant, looking obviously for discussion on the floor. But the other option would be to actually take that line completely out and apply the $77,410 to one of the municipal budgets, rather than
I
just,
mean, So-
rather than singling that out. If you think that might confuse people and that we might have to seriously explain why we're singling that particular amount out, then you could just take one of the budgets and put that towards that budget. And we could do it towards the debt. Well, except for the budget committee didn't.
It feels like it still needs to be a separate question because it's
If you want it to show that it's because of the RSU 5 lapsing into undesignated funds, then yes, it needs to be a separate question. But if you just want to use those undesignated funds, then it does not need to be a separate question.
right.
So it depends on what your intention is.
My only intention is that people understand, what happened and what we're doing with this money, and that we're not just taking $77,000 willy-nilly from undesignated just to apply it to something, so.
I think that's a better
you're
alternative.
basically taking
than
an
just-
overtax last year and applying it to this year, right? I mean, it's,
Exactly.
That's
That's
what
that's the message I'm trying to make sure it's clear, is that, yeah, there was an accidental overcharge last year, and we're taking that and applying it to this year's, to make, so
Right.
that it's a so.
You want to just add one more sentence that says that? I mean, I understand it, but I don't know, and I see what you're saying from the general, how people could read it, and but I don't know what the solution is.
Maybe, or could you, maybe there's, well, Marv, you might be honest, maybe we just add one, maybe there's one more sentence that says these funds were held and are being applied to this year's budget to make up for it, or something like that.
yeah, to lower the tax. Yeah, something like that.
Yep. Can you add one more sentence,
Yeah.
something like that on that, Ruth?
Yeah, I'm not really sure how to word it, but.
Well,
Due to,
I would just say these funds are being used to offset the 2020 tax impact or something
Yeah.
simple as that.
okay, so we can just, these funds lapsed into undesignated fund due to an error in the RSU 5 tax assessment and are being used.
to offset a portion of this year's tax impact.
Portion of this year's tax. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to share my screen?
You can? Or are you editing that document in real time?
I am. I gotta figure out where I put it though. Not the agenda. There we go. Oh, no. Sorry, you're looking at my dog.
No, that we got it.
No, we got it.
We got it.
Oh, you do? Okay. So there it is. So I, into,
Zoom it back in.
zoom it back in. Okay, hold on.
Yep, no, I think that's good. I think that helps.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, into the undesignated fund. There we go. Due to
Yeah.
an error in the RSU 5 tax summit are being used to offset a portion of this year's tax impact.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay,
That sounds good. I like it.
Okay.
save.
And then you don't think it's somewhat low hanging fruit to put most of those fund warrant articles on here?
You mean all the fund warrant articles where we switched around the funds? I think that would
Yeah.
be very confusing without some sort of an explanation of what we were doing.
Okay.
I mean, I'm the first person who really would like to do that, but
Well, I thought some of them were pretty, like, really the only one that that I wouldn't want to put on would be the one about the recreation account, because I think that one's going to generate some heat when we talk about that one. Yeah. But I thought the others were pretty straightforward, but it's not critical.
well, it's already 23 questions or 22 questions. So, I mean, I was
Well,
trying to.
no, we need to do what we need to do. I'm not really that concerned with the number of questions. I mean, if there's stuff we need to do, we need to do it. I mean, this is our town meeting, and I'm sorry
Yeah,
if
I
it's
guess I didn't consider it critical for this year.
okay. All right. All right. And just a side note, one as I was looking through tonight, I think just a learning maybe for next year, if we're going to put the draft warrants in the town report, that we should not put recommendations in yet, because we're seeing that those change a lot. And so if somebody's got that town report now, they're going to look at a recommendation that in some cases has gone 180 degrees the other way. And so it's something to think about for next year.
Well, I'm thinking this is kind of an outlier.
Well, it's not an outlier for recommendations to change after the town report goes out, but okay. All right. Any yeah, Todd, did you have something?
Article 14. Is that right? Read correctly? Right at the end there, during the page 3 of 5.
If the town will vote to appropriate an amount not to exceed 5% of the total 2020 net assessment for commitment to pay tax abatements and applicable interest granted during the 2020 fiscal year.
How did I get this?
Yeah, mine says page 3 of 5, page 302.
Oh, I'm sorry. There was a typo there. I took it out.
Through the
Okay.
20 fiscal year.
Yeah, it just says the 2020 fiscal year. There was a typo and I had fixed it.
I see. I see what that is. Yeah.
Oh,
Alright.
Okay.
Ruth, do you think it's worth putting, typically in the warrant, we have kind of like headings for groups of the articles. Should we put the business article heading in here right before that question Todd just asked about?
Yep, I can.
Those are kind of like routine, and I can see people almost tripping over some of these, having them on ballot format versus at the end of town meeting, everybody's ready to go home and we threw them like,
Bundle them all together.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually is a fairly new thing for our warrant. That's only
is it?
happened in the last couple of years. But I don't have any problem with putting business articles in there. I don't even remember how I phrased it in the other one, but I'll fix that.
any other comments or questions on the warrant?
My only question is, are the delinquent tax percentages, I think I've asked this in the past, the charge for, say, at this particular one on Article 16, 9%, is that set by the state is the recommendation, or is that, how does that 9% come to?
Yeah, that is a state figure. That's the highest you can do. I mean, you could charge less, but that's
Okay.
the highest you can do.
Thank you.
Is this our final time to talk about any pay raises?
Before we would certainly want to talk about that before we approve a warrant. So I don't know if you guys got a chance to read an email from a citizen that forwarded it to me after the budget committee last night, basically asking us to reconsider the decision to have a wage freeze for this budget year and have $0 in the raise pool.
Kevin, did the budget committee even discuss that? Because it wasn't on the warrant, so.
Well, no, actually, Rob, I told it did come up. We did discuss it, and I told them that that we had a member that we said if the budget committee felt differently, that the board, I would take that back to the board to then discuss putting it on the warrant. It wasn't going to be because you had asked for that, and so if they had come back with a different recommendation, I would be sitting here tonight saying, okay, do you guys want to put this on the warrant? But they didn't. They were in agreement with the no raise pool. I think the vote was 8-1. I think there was just one negative vote.
So would there be any objection though to putting it on the warrant with a recommendation of no from both committees? I mean, at least ask the town.
What would that accomplish, though? I don't understand the objective there.
Well, that's what I said at the last meeting. I think the townspeople need to vote on the raises. You know, I think there's enough support in town. I think they support our employees, and they'd probably approve it because we know changes are coming next year that are going to be even tougher.
But
So I
there's
think
not-
we should at least ask.
But Rob, if we put it out, so what would the question be?
It would read exactly like a typical warrant article and says to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate 15,000, whatever it is, for the raised pool. And then it could say select board and budget committee recommend no, but at least it's on the warrant.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. I don't know. How do people feel about that?
I think it's a good idea, just so it's out there. So that
Mark or Rich, you guys have any thoughts on it?
You know, if it was a split decision, but I mean, I think our vote was 4-1 and their vote was 8-1, and I'm kind of content where it's at.
Yeah, I kind of think we already talked about it.
That's where I am as well. So I think we have sounds like we have 3 that would. Well, if somebody wants to, you want to make a motion, Rob, so we can actually make this official?
No, I mean, I think we know that it's fine. If it's not going to pass, it's no big deal. We brought it up. That's my intent. So
Okay.
it's fine.
Okay.
I don't need to be on record being against you twice. Everybody knows.
Okay. Anything else on the warrant or anything that might impact the warrant? None? Okay. So I believe in the past, the last couple of years, we've just taken a vote on the warrant as presented. Is that right, Ruth? Isn't that the way we've done it the last couple of years?
Yes, so moved.
I'll second it.
Just clarify, as presented is basically Ruth's copy that she shared on the screen.
Right.
Right, so the motion, so I'm gonna restate the motion. So the motion on the floor is that we accept the warrant document as presented by Ruth, the name of the document being Warrant 2020 Final Corona, with the edits that Ruth has made during this meeting. So that's, the motion is that that's the warrant that we send to voters.
I'll second.
Well, I was just restating it. You guys have, Rich moved it and Todd seconded it.
Yeah.
So any further discussion on that? Seeing none. Okay, we do have to do a roll call vote. So if you're in favor of approving the warrant in the motion, as described in the motion, say yes when I call your name. Rob?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. Okay, so we have a warrant. Okay. Ruth, is there anything else we need to discuss with regard to the budget referendum and the ballot? I mean, I think we know we're gonna do machine count. Actually, we haven't talked yet about the information sheet. What's your vision for that? Are you there, Ruth? Or are you just muted? All right, we'll give that one a minute.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
muted. Sorry. No, I was talking away. So, so I know we just voted on the warrant and everything, but you guys haven't actually voted to have the referendum. So I would think that that would probably be the next direction if that's what you guys want to do.
All right,
Sounds good.
I will move that we send all warrant articles to vote via secret ballot referendum for this year.
Second.
Any discussion on that? All right, so if you're in favor of sending all articles, questions on the warrant,
Just one question, Ruth,
Yeah.
will that change at all with the additional information from the governor potentially? Would we do anything different
Well, potentially if
or no?
I mean, you could, if she were to relax the number of people in a meeting after July 1st in order to allow town meetings, then you could actually have a town meeting after July 1st, but you don't have to. You could just stick with this.
Okay.
So
I'd much
I
rather
guess
have a town meeting.
if there's an announcement in the next couple of days, I will email you guys and see how you feel about having a short meeting to discuss whether you want to change your options.
So if we approve this and then something changes, we can get back together and redo it? Is that what we're saying?
Yep.
we
Okay.
can. We could also discuss the hypothetical tonight and see where the board is on, like, for the sake of argument, if the governor came out within the next couple of days and said that basically was waiving the large group restriction for an in-person town meeting, would that change anything?
Save us money, wouldn't it?
Well, I'm not sure. My concern would be that even though it might be allowable, that a lot of people might not be comfortable, and we might have even a lower voter turnout than we normally have at town meeting. And given that we've, simplified the warrant, and there's not really as much stuff here that requires a lot of and explanation, the in-person meeting isn't going to have as much value anyway. So my personal thing is, I think we should roll, as long as it ends up being allowed. If some reason she says we can't do it, that we just proceed with the secret ballot town meeting. It partly almost is an experiment because we've had people asking for this type of thing and maybe to see how it might work for a while. So it's kind of a good opportunity to try it.
I would agree.
I agree, Kevin.
The other thing too is, we could have a special town meeting in the fall and do like the other types of articles. If we
Yeah,
want.
I have that in the back of my mind for sure, depending on how things work out with the pandemic and everything. But okay, so any further discussion on the motion to have the secret ballot town meeting this year? Okay, if you're in favor of the motion, say yes when I call your name, please. Rob,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Todd,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
and a yes as well. Okay. Hey, Ruth, what else with regard to that? I mean, do we need to talk about, like, if we're gonna do this information sheet, do we think we can get it in an efficient format where we would actually consider mailing it to every household?
Well, what Thompson does is they actually put it in like a newspaper article, just like a couple pages, a couple sentences each. So in the next week, I will look into what the price of that would be and how cost prohibitive it might be. And I'll also begin writing one, and I will send a draft out to you guys probably the end of next week, so you guys can take a look at it and give me your comments.
I don't know why we would want to do it in an actual newspaper. I mean,
Yeah, I would agree
Well, I
with
was
that.
thinking that would give us the most space. No, not like it's like a separate mailer though. I mean, it's not in newspaper.
Oh, man.
so how does a person get it?
You get mailed to your mailbox.
Oh, so I'm missing something here. Where does
So it's a direct mail piece?
It's not a direct mail piece, but it looks like one of the smaller newspapers, like
So it's an insert to a newspaper, like a coupon book.
yeah, but you don't put it in a newspaper. You just mail it on its own.
So it's a
they would
direct
mail
mail
it to
piece.
all households? So they would produce this. They would produce it and mail it for us.
Yeah. I mean, the other option, I suppose, well, maybe that wouldn't be any cheaper. I mean, maybe it would be cheaper just to do a couple pages and mail it out to people.
Well, it's worth.
What are we
having-
required to
asking
do?
the Question.
We're required to do a public hearing.
We're required to notice of a public hearing, or that's where I'm confused. Like, is the newspaper considered a public hearing?
No. This is something in addition to a public hearing, and it's not in a newspaper. That's just the form that it would have been written in. But I'm thinking as I'm talking to you guys that maybe that wouldn't be the least expensive way to go. I mean, I'm assuming that's why Thompson does it that way. But
Yeah, I was just curious, like, if it's a public notification, would putting it on our website and, releasing it via the Twitter feed or Facebook page, et cetera, is that sufficient?
well, we don't have to do an informational sheet at all. We do have to do a public meeting.
Okay.
But
I,
you know,
I,
you guys have
yeah.
talked about it.
I think it's not it's the information sheet isn't a legal requirement per se, but in the reading I've been doing on secret ballot town meetings, because you don't have the opportunity for discussion, they said one of the keys is you have to take extra efforts to kind of educate voters on what they're going to be voting on. So it doesn't have to be a big elaborate thing. It's just kind of article by article almost, this budget is, slightly down from last year for this reason, or with the truck, this truck, this price is a significant discount for what we paid last year due to the market, and it's replacing a 20 whatever year old truck. Just something that kind of gives some context to voters. And I think if we can do it for a reasonable price, I think we should try to mail it to every household, along with because we've kind of said informally that, whenever we have a town meeting, we're going to send in a big public hearing, we're going to mail notice of it to all households in town. And there are funds for that in the budget, actually.
I'm fine with the direct mail piece. I just was I didn't understand what she was getting at, and whether it would be in the newspaper or via, an insert into like a smaller newspaper, like a Forecaster or something of that nature. That's where I was getting confused.
Yeah, I wasn't.
But I think direct mail would be great.
Yeah. So Ruth, you look at options. I mean, that's essentially. I think we want to get it to every household.
Yeah.
And also online and all that other stuff too.
Yeah.
And then we'd need extra copies if we have a polling place and
Yep.
for town office. Yeah. Okay.
Mail them with trash stickers.
Okay. What else with regard to that subject? Anything, Ruth?
I think that about covers it.
Yeah, we have a warrant. We voted on how we're going to vote on it. We've talked about the information sheet. Oh, well, that's kind of in your report. We'll talk about schedule. Is that what you
Oh,
were
sure.
intending to do? What's that?
Sure, if you want. Sorry.
What do you want to do? Why don't we do it now, since we're kind of on the subject, rather than have to come back to it?
Sure.
So with a secret ballot, well, for any secret ballot, even if it's just one question, there is requirement to have a public hearing no more than 30 days and at least 10 days before the vote. And then that public hearing has to be noticed at least 7 days before. And so the public hearing would be, you're thinking Zoom on June 9th?
Yeah, because I was thinking we want to do it before absentee ballots start going out.
That makes sense. Okay. What
And
day of the
that's,
week is what day of the week is that?
It's a Tuesday. It's your regular meeting in June.
Okay. What do people think of that?
Works for me.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think we should start? I mean, I don't know what to expect in terms of public participation in that. Who knows? Ruth, if we had over 100 people want to join that meeting, does our Zoom account allow for that?
No. We could up our subscription for a month. I think it's an extra $40 a month.
I think we might have to do that. I think we can't risk not having.
What does the $40 get us? Like up to 200 people, up to 300 people? I mean, what's
300.
Is it 300?
300?
I think it's only $15. I have the subscription. I could
Okay.
set it up if you want, but yeah, I think it's only $15 for 300.
Yeah, and would you do that? Would you do that one webinar style, Ruth?
Well, we'd have to pay extra if we did it webinar style. But I mean, we could.
Oh, that's a different fee, isn't it? You're right.
It is a different fee. We could do it webinar style. We might actually be able to piggyback on a GP Cogs subscription to do it webinar style. I think they might let us if we wanted to. And the other reason for doing it on the 9th, frankly, is because for the 30 days after the emergency is lifted, and if they lift it on this Friday, we'll still be able to do Zoom meetings. But after the 15th of June, if she doesn't extend it, we would have to figure something else out.
That's a good point. Okay. So public hearing on the 9th, absentee ballots on the 14th, and then we don't know whether we're gonna have a polling place or not on July 14th.
Not 100% yet, no.
Right. Okay. Any other questions about schedule related to the town meeting? Okay. All right, I think that's it for 5A. So we're going to move on to the 5B, the discussion of the tax anticipation note.
Joe, we've discussed this
Yep.
quite a bit. And so if you guys are ready, now's probably the time to go ahead and vote on it, and I would get the ball rolling. And I sent you guys the wording for it. It's quite long and verbose, but it's from my bond counsel, so I think we probably should do it that way.
Yep. Let's see, that was in the first email you sent, right?
Yes. I can.
You want to
send
put it
to
up
again
on the
if you-
screen?
Yeah, of
Why don't you,
course.
That'd be
can,
great.
yeah, just share it up there.
Share screen. Hold on, I gotta find the right one. Don't want to be sharing the wrong thing. Okay. Can you guys see it?
Yep. So you're looking for, this is a TAN of just over $1 million in
Yep.
Pennsylvania.
And it would be a drawdown. So in other words, we wouldn't take the whole money out. We would only take what was actually needed.
Okay.
Do you need someone to read that out, or can we just say as written?
Technically, you probably should read it out. I know you
Yep.
guys don't like that.
Scroll it down. It's a recorded video.
Well, but it has to be technically it's, well, I don't know. Do we have anybody joining us just by phone, Ruth? Can you tell?
I don't think so.
I don't care. You want me to read it?
Sure, go ahead,
for it,
Rob.
Let's just get this over with.
Okay, that I move that under and pursuant to Title 30-A, Section 5771 of the Maine Revised Statutes, as amended and supplemented, there be and hereby is authorized the issuance of a $1,050,000 principal amount tax anticipation note of the town in anticipation of the receipt of taxes for the municipal fiscal year, which commences January 1st, 2020 and ends December 31st, 2020. That was definitely written by lawyers. 2, that said note shall be dated on or about June 1st, 2020, shall mature on December 31st, 2020, shall be signed by the treasurer and countersigned by the chairman of the Board of Selectmen, and otherwise be in such form and bear such details as the signers may determine. 3, that said note is hereby sold and awarded to Androscoggin Bank. 4, that said note is hereby designated qualified tax exempt obligations of the town for the 2020 calendar year pursuant to the Internal Revenue Code of 1996. And 5, that all things heretofore done and all action heretofore taken by the town, its municipal officers, and its agents in the authorization of said note are hereby ratified, approved, and confirmed, and the treasurer and chairman are each hereby authorized to take any and all action necessary or convenient to carry out the provisions of this voting, including delivering said note against payment therefore. That's my motion.
Thank you, Rich. Oh, thank you, Rob. Sorry.
That was Rob.
Is there a second? I'll second it.
I'll second.
Can,
All right.
Sorry.
yeah, just for discussion, can you guys refresh me on this TAN? I know we've had conversations in the past, but what is total cost? And I mean, is there an interest rate incurred on these things? I can't remember what the heck goes on with these things.
There is an interest rate incurred. It's generally about 3
Which
to
is?
3.5%. I haven't actually gotten a quote on it yet, but I would expect it to be about there. And the cost that we incur mostly is through the bond council. So we do have to pay, I think it's about $2,000 for the bond council to do this. But legally, we're kind of required to do that. So if we want a tan, that's kind of the way we have to go.
Is that it, Rich, or did you have another?
I lost the connection.
Did you not hear it, or?
I lost my audio feed. I
Do you
heard
want me to say
there's an interest rate of approximately 3.5%, and like a couple $1,000s as a, sounds like an application fee or something of that nature.
It's a bond council. That's what you have to pay the bond council to do the offering.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion on the motion for the tan? Okay, all in, no, you can't do that. If you're in favor of the tan as read by Rob Ponto, say yes when I call your name. Rob Ponto,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Todd,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. All right. Okay. Next on the agenda is a discussion of the town office reopening plan.
Yep.
You want-
So after the discussion last week, I went back to the office staff and we talked about it, and presented you guys with a plan for reopening on this Thursday. With public hours, we wanted to keep it fairly simple, so we made them pretty much exact across the board, whereby we would be open from 1 o'clock till, I think it's 1 to 4 every single day, except for Thursday, we would be open from 3 to 6. And then we would be open in the morning for by appointment.
Did members have any thoughts on that proposed schedule?
Fine.
I think it looked fine.
Yeah, I like the idea of the appointment for higher risk individuals in the morning.
So the only thing I
Yeah,
wanted
I
to
have no
ask,
issue with it.
and I sent it in today's email, and you know, we don't know how this is going to go. I have no idea what we haven't thought of yet. And so if we have to make adjustments on the fly, I wanted to have permission to do that with Mark's approval, as Mark being my liaison.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that.
I don't necessarily have an issue with it. I think other than shutting down the town office, I mean, if Ruth has to make adjustments, I think she should be able to make the adjustments. I mean, I think if it gets to a
you
point
would
where she
have
has to close it,
Yeah, I
then
think just,
obviously she should contact Mark and he should bring it to the chair. And then if we need a discussion, we can have a discussion. But I think she should make the adjustments on the fly that she sees needed in her department.
I would agree with that, you know, and Ruth, and then, and if you do have to make a change, you gotta just inform the board as soon as possible.
Okay.
I agree.
Because you're ultimately, yeah, we're definitely, obviously, you know, the board, I think, has pushed a little bit to get the office open as soon as possible, but it still needs to be done, you know, in a safe way that the staff is comfortable with and is not taking, you know, unnecessary risk. So you guys are on the ground there, so
Because we also
you've got to
have-
make some calls.
Yeah, and we also have to keep in mind that if one of us is it, you know, exposed to COVID, then, you know, the town office closes down, or if we're exposed to COVID in the office.
Well, yeah, I mean, who knows? That might change with all the new testing there is now. It might be that people could be tested and be okay to work, but you're right, that is a significant risk if the town office gets exposed, so. Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions or concerns for Ruth about the opening? And you're planning, this starts when, Thursday?
Yep, Thursday.
All right. If there's nothing else on that, we'll go on to the next one. Actually, this is the one we added to the agenda. Todd put out there, like to have a discussion about maybe some maintenance that might need to be done at the old town hall. So what do you got, Todd?
Yes, we've already talked about the fact that the roof on the porch needs to be redone, needs to be stripped, needs to be new flashing and some clapboards so that the porch doesn't get wet. We need to do it before it gets painted. Jan came to me and asked me, in light of all that's happened, if we're still good with doing that. I know we have the money in that account, so, but I just want to make sure that everybody's good with continuing to finish that porch.
Is this something the board has already approved and
Anybody.
you're just asking if it's still okay? Huh? Yeah? Does anybody have any thoughts on
Well,
that?
If we already approved it, I don't have any stop. I don't
The
have any
money's coming
reason to stop the work for a lot.
Yeah, is it coming out of municipal capital? Is that where those funds are coming from, Ruth?
It would come out of the Union Church Fund. They have a specific
Union Church
account for
Fund.
that.
Oh, their reserve fund, right. Yeah, especially that. I mean, that's what that money's for. So,
We do need to get it done so that the
yep.
porch doesn't get wet. You know, it's only pond.
Okay.
But I want to make sure that everybody's okay with it before we go ahead and do it.
Is anybody not okay with it?
Yeah.
Speak now or forever hold
No.
your peace. Okay, I say just keep going. Todd, tell Jan to finish the job.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, thanks, Todd.
Yeah, thank you, Todd.
Yeah, Jan was just concerned with where we were at with it. That's all.
Yep. Okay, so we're into department committee reports, and road commissioner is first this week.
So we've got continued work on the town office properties, fire station, Eureka, ball field. There's a lot of trails that Ruth showed us around the town office that had fallen trees across some things. We got that all cleaned up. We've been working on changing a lot of driveway culverts. We've got a list of ones that we've needed to get to. And winter came sudden and fast last year in mid-November, so we're getting to those, and we've had a few more that have failed over the winter that we're getting to. I'm working with Crooker on the bond paving from last year to put the surface on. I had a meeting with him yesterday. There's some areas that we always get with a 19mm binder that get end of load segregation that we're going to mill out. So they'll be doing a mill and fill. We'll be going over those tomorrow, painting them out. And so that's the same thing we always do after we do a binder and they sit. Very few. We didn't get very many this year, except for Grant Road's got more than most, but I think that's because it was done late. And might have been a little bit of, that was when the winter came and shut us off. So, but they are looking to get to maybe start Leighton Road next week. It just has a couple of spots that need to be addressed. I talked to them about the day road, starting that. They're looking at a month. They said as soon as the crew on Route 9 is done with the shoulders, they'll move over to day road, start on that one. About a month out. We've opened the runaround pond outhouses, restocked it, checked it today. Everything looks good. So that place is very busy. The crew went back to summer hours, 4 10-hour days, Monday through Thursday. Spoke with Freightliner regarding the new truck offer for the bid extension.
Calvin,
Yep.
Calvin, question on the schedule. What do you guys have some sort of an on-call plan for those 3 days that you are not scheduled? You know, like if you know, a major tree falls across the road or some big issue, do you have a plan for that?
I guess, ask me that again. I lost you for a second.
So if with
Says
this,
my
with the
internet connection is
staff,
unstable.
you guys
I don't know
working
what
a
that-
4-day week. My question is, do you
I'm not able to.
you have some sort of an on-call?
I think I hear you now. I think,
was it?
no, the Androscoggin County or state police have a list of people to call. They call me first, and if they don't get me, they call Ron. If they don't, one of us will answer and get to, but there's always somebody available. But I've given the
Okay. All right.
dispatch a priority list of who to call first, and then if no answer, they go second, third.
Okay.
So the Freightliner, he's skips on vacation this week, but said he'll get me that in writing first of next week. He had to check with Viking Surveys to make sure they were going to hold their part of it. The outfitter that builds the truck after the chassis part. So he said he'll get me that next week. Because otherwise I told him we'd have to go back to bid if we're going to put this out to town vote. So he said no, he would get it. So for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be working on driveway culverts. We're going to be looking at working this Thursday. We're going to go back to the fire station, try to get those 2 piles of dirt out behind the fire station out. We're hoping it should be dry enough Thursday to get in there and get that done. Potholes on Route 9, 136. It's like pulling teeth. We've called them over and over again. Finally got them to come out and do something. I think Todd, the one you were referring to at the top of the hill, I mean, we told them the hole was 2 feet wide by a foot long, and they came out and put about 2 tablespoons of patch in the very nucleus of the center where
That's what I saw.
you still fall into the hole. But so we've got to call them back and get them to come back and do that again. I don't understand. I'd say how they stay in business, but they're not. So, but it's certainly not the way we do things. But I'll call them back, go over that again. Just keep trying. So talking about I'd like to, with Ruth opening the town office, I'm wondering, would I be all set to remove my signs on the doors that say the building's closed here? I mean, we have rarely anybody here, but if I have the engineer come over, or Crooker wants to come over, or just to have a quick discussion about something. Well, we don't get a lot of traffic or public, but would you guys be okay with that?
If you just
Yeah, I
put,
think as
you know,
long
by
as you're
appointment
still
only
following,
and kept social
you know, the-
distancing, I don't,
Yeah. Anybody not okay with that? Yeah, Calvin, I think you're,
No, I think if the town's
you
open, the
wanna,
town's open.
Take the same precautions. Right, yeah, take the same precautions that, the town office is taking in terms of social distancing, hygiene, and all that other stuff, and, yeah, you do what you gotta do to function. Okay, is that it, Calvin?
And that's all I got.
Any other questions? Any other questions for Calvin? Okay,
no, thanks,
great,
Cal.
thank you, Calvin.
Oh, is,
Thank you.
Chief, you're up next. Oh, somebody have something? Nope, okay.
Bowie Hill Road,
Go ahead, chief.
the knoll on Bowie Hill Road, that's one of them they're fixing, right? Halfway down Bowie
Yeah,
Hill
I
Road.
think I clicked
Calvin.
them. Oh, there it is. There you are. Yep, there is one hole there, one small pothole. Yeah, we're gonna take care of that.
How about the transitions
Yep.
on each end? They're gonna fix those
Yeah,
up.
there's, we're gonna go over that. Yep, we're gonna go over that too.
Very good.
Okay.
Okay. All right, thank you. Chief, you're up.
All right, good evening, everybody. Hopefully you received a copy of the report that I sent yesterday. We just continue to manage calls as best we can. Once again, they are down. We're not missing calls or anything else like that. It just, depending on the type of call and the illness reported, our call times are up a little bit, but that's just, there's nothing we're going to do about that. That's the way everyone's operating right now with all of the additional PPE we're wearing. Meeting with the chief officers tonight to discuss reopening the station and reopening our functions, like on as far as regular operations, trainings, meetings, things like that. So if there's anything that we have a concern about or a question about in regards to the way the town's functioning, I'll forward that on. Other than that, we have our annual hose testing, working on the well and the septic projects. I've reached out to both Affordable and COP to start those processes. Nothing else is a major issue. The only question that I have is the only capital project that I had proposed this year that hasn't been discussed is the turnout gear. As we do have some of that is particularly aged and needs to be replaced. But trying to be responsible about that, as I proposed in my report, I'd like to cut the amount that I requested to spend for the year and just do the best that I can with it, and then defer the rest of it to next year to replace.
This would be another 10,000 out of capital, right?
That's correct. I didn't, when I did my initial CIP proposal at the beginning of the year, it was 12.
Was this included in what the board had previously recommended be approved for this year?
It was.
Okay. Ruth, do you have any, you have an update on what this does now that we have well and septic bids, where, with this included, where we're gonna be with fire capital when all is said and done?
Yeah, let me pull it up. Hold on a second. I gotta get it up on my screen. Sorry, I'm working on two screens and I'm always going the wrong way. Sent last week. I thought it was last week.
Well, you sent something, it was the 28th.
171. Was it the 28th? Okay, let me pull that up.
Yeah, I see. So does this, but that I think when you sent that, that didn't include the well and septic.
Probably not, but we can see the starting point. Guys,
So yeah, what you sent us on the 28th.
I think it was
showed
171.
After it was 174,979. So we essentially need to deduct well and septic from that.
Right, and then the 24,000 for the SCBA.
That's not part of the 54,550 in capital projects that are already listed.
Well, the 54,550 included the safety gear, the well and septic, I believe, although it didn't have the actual numbers, so that was only $15,000. I think I came up with about 59,000 with the actual well and septic bids in there. So it would take about $60,000 out of his 171,000, I believe is his.
You think that's all in? That's where we are, 171.
I'm having problems finding it. I think I need to do this a different way. Let's see here. All right. Come on. I'm remoted into the server, so it takes me a minute to pull things up. All right, let's look at Public Works. All right, so, oh no, sorry, I was way off. I apologize. So the balance at the end of the year was 271,249. So if you, I believe, Chief, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, I think the bill for the SCBA was about 25,000.
Yeah, it was just under 25. Yep.
Right. So 25.
Also less than initially anticipated.
Right. Yep. So then the 25,000 plus 10,000 is 35,000 plus, what was the well bid, about 15? No.
The well was just under 13, and sorry, no, the well was just over 5, and the septic was just under 13.
So you're looking at about 53,000 actually, so that's less. So if you take the 53 out of the 271, 220,000 left, plus whatever comes in revenue this year.
Minus
So
the 41,720 for the bond payment.
Right.
Oh, yep, sorry about that, yep. So that brings us down to about 180,000 plus whatever comes into revenue.
And then another 10 for the turnout gear.
No, that
10.
Oh, that's in the earlier number? Okay, all right. Okay.
yeah, I had included that.
So since I think we need a motion, so I think I'm going to move that we permit the chief to expend up to $10,000 in capital funds for turnout gear for the remainder of this budget year. Is there a second on that? And then we can have discussion.
Second. I'll second
All
it.
right. So discussion. Okay, thank you. So the reason I'm making a motion to do this is expenditure of capital funds needs to be authorized by the board, and we haven't actually officially authorized this. We have recommended it be included in a budget article, but we're actually not putting that budget article on the warrant for the kind of normal fire capital stuff. The only capital article on the warrant is the plow truck. So we have to vote to approve for those funds to be spent or not. Any other discussion? All right, so if you're in favor of authorizing the chief to spend up to $10,000 in fire department capital funds on turnout gear for the remainder of the budget year, say yes when I call you. Rob,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Todd,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
and I am a yes as well. Okay. All right, chiefs, you're all set on that one.
Very good. That's, like I said, that's all I have. I'll just keep the board up to speed on where we're at with the well and septic projects as they move forward. And other than that, it's business as usual for us.
Okay. Great.
All right,
Thank you very
thank you.
much.
Thanks, Chief.
Ruth, town administrator report is next.
Sorry, I was muted again. Yeah, I actually think we went through everything in the report, unless you guys had any questions for me.
Seeing none, we can move on. So, the only thing on the consent agenda was the minutes for May 5th. And I don't think we have the final version, or at least I don't, because I think Todd called out a correction, but I'm not sure the corrected version has been back. Would others agree with that?
She sent corrected minutes.
Oh, it says, I just got an email from her. She says, apparently she only sent them to you, Rob. she didn't
Well-
send them to everybody. So we'll take care of that next week because we obviously haven't read them.
You know who ran?
About 2 weeks from now. So there is no consent agenda. Okay. So upcoming meetings, our next regular board meeting is Tuesday, May 26th. I'm going to presume that would probably still be in this Zoom format. And then Tuesday, June 9th, which will also be the public hearing for the articles on the warrant. Any thought, should we start at 6 o'clock that night, or are people still okay with 6:30? Since the public hearing is part of it.
6 sounds good to me.
I'm sorry, Rich, I didn't hear that.
I think 6 sounds great.
Yeah, why don't, is there any objection to starting at 6 on June 9th?
No.
Okay, so we're gonna make the time 6, and we'll start with the public hearing. And Ruth, let's try to keep the rest of the agenda as light as possible. That
I'll try my best.
what?
I'll try my best.
Okay. All right, so 6 o'clock on June 9th, I'm starting with the public hearing on the secret ballot town meeting. Okay. All right, I'm gonna move that we adjourn.
Second.
Rob seconds. If you're in favor of adjournment, say yes when I call your name. Rob,
Yes.
Rich,
Sure. Yes.
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
and I am as well. Okay, we are adjourned.
Hi,
Thank
guys.
you, everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye. Yeah.
We'll talk. Ruth, do you need me to come in and sign the TAN?
I will, but not yet. I'll let you know.
Okay, all right, very good. Bye, everybody.
Take care, everyone. Bye now.
Take care.
Oh, good.